Michael the Archangel, a name that echoes through the corridors of history, shrouded in mystery and awe. He is not just an angel, he is a warrior, a guardian, and the commander of heaven's armies. But there is so much more to this angelic being than meets the eye. Today we're diving deep into the untold mysteries of Michael's battles, his extraordinary powers, and his role in God's eternal plan. Stay with me until the end as we explore not only his past, but also what Michael's role will be in the final judgment and the end times. We often think of Michael as a powerful warrior who wields a sword, locked in an eternal struggle against the forces of darkness. But what if Michael's abilities extend far beyond a sword and shield? Could it be that Michael, like the angels of old, commands supernatural powers that we can only begin to comprehend? Let's start by considering Michael's origin. Though the Bible doesn't tell us precisely when Michael was created, we know that he, like all angels, was made by God. But there's something distinct about Michael. He is called the Chief Prince, Daniel 10:13, the leader of the angelic armies. His position alone implies a being of immense strength and wisdom, set apart for specific divine purposes. And what if this strength is more than just physical? Ancient texts like the Book of Enoch suggest that archangels like Michael possess powers that transcend the earthly realm. In these writings, Michael isn't just a warrior, he's an enforcer of divine justice, a protector of God's chosen people, and a force of nature itself. Consider one of the most well-known stories about Michael, the war in heaven from Revelation 12. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, Satan, and his fallen angels. The imagery here is stunning, but it may not tell the whole story. While we often picture Michael wielding a sword, what if this battle involved far more than traditional weapons? In the Bible, we see references to God using fire, wind, and lightning as tools of judgment. Could Michael command similar forces, wielding the elements themselves against the forces of darkness? Imagine Michael moving at speeds faster than lightning, his presence sending ripples through the fabric of reality itself. His sword, if he uses one, might not be made of earthly materials but of light and energy, an unstoppable force that cuts through dimensions. And why not? The forces he's fighting against are not flesh and blood but spiritual beings, cosmic powers of darkness. Wouldn't it make sense for Michael to have access to weapons and abilities far beyond our understanding? Perhaps this is why many cultures, like the Greeks with Zeus and Thor, imagined gods wielding thunder and lightning. What if these stories were echoes of real pre-flood encounters with beings like Michael, distorted by time? The Bible isn't the only place we find Michael locked in epic battles. In the Book of Enoch, Michael is one of the angels charged with binding the rebellious angels, the Watchers, who descended to earth and sinned with human women, producing the Nephilim, the giants of old. This story paints Michael not only as a warrior but as a judge. He stands before God and pleads for justice, calling for the destruction of the Nephilim and the punishment of the Watchers. And it's Michael who is given the task of binding these fallen angels and casting them into the abyss. What does this tell us about Michael's role in the spiritual realm? Not only does he fight against physical enemies like Satan, but he also has authority over demonic forces. Michael isn't just a warrior, he's a general, a leader, and a judge, executing God's will with precision and power. The Book of Enoch gives us a glimpse into the sheer scale of Michael's responsibility. He is not just a guardian of the saints, he is a key figure in maintaining order in the heavens and the earth. Let's not forget his other biblical battles. In Daniel 10, we see Michael fighting against the Prince of Persia, a demonic power that sought to resist God's plan. The Bible tells us that Michael came to the aid of another angel, likely Gabriel, who had been delayed by this evil power. Here we see Michael's true strength, not only in defeating enemies, but in coming to the aid of fellow angels, ensuring that God's message gets through. Michael is depicted as relentless, powerful, and victorious, able to overcome even the mightiest of spiritual forces. But his power doesn't stop there. In Jude 9, Michael contends with Satan himself over the body of Moses. What's intriguing here is that Michael doesn't defeat Satan with brute force. Instead, he shows remarkable humility, saying, "The Lord rebuke you." This restraint might indicate that Michael's true power lies not just in his might, but in his unwavering loyalty and submission to God. But imagine the sheer intensity of this encounter. Michael standing firm, with the power to crush Satan, yet choosing to invoke the name of God instead. His control and authority are so complete that even Satan can't prevail against him. And now let's speculate on what kind of supernatural abilities Michael may possess. The Bible frequently describes angelic appearances accompanied by light, wind, and fire. Could Michael command these elements in battle? Perhaps his strength is not limited to physical combat, but extends to manipulating the very forces of nature. His weaponry might include beams of pure light or energy, capable of piercing through dimensions and shattering the forces of darkness. Consider the possibility that Michael has powers akin to those we see in mythology: lightning, super speed, control over the elements. The legends of gods wielding such abilities may be distorted echoes of the true powers of God's angels, passed down through human history, altered by generations who had lost touch with the truth. If angels like Michael were witnesses to the creation and had existed long before humanity, would they not possess powers that surpass anything we could imagine? Michael's strength could be cosmic in scope, able to shift the heavens themselves as he battles against the demonic forces that seek to influence the nations. Michael's battles aren't over. Today we live in an age of spiritual warfare, and Ephesians 6:12 reminds us that our fight is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, and rulers of darkness. Who better to lead this fight than Michael? Though we may not see him, many theologians speculate that Michael is still active today, fighting against the spiritual forces that wage war against God's people. Could Michael be engaging in unseen battles right now, defending persecuted Christians, thwarting the plans of the enemy, and ensuring that God's will is carried out? And what about the future? Daniel 12 says, "At that time Michael, the great prince who protects your people, will arise." This passage is believed to refer to the Great Tribulation, a time of unparalleled suffering when Michael will stand up to defend God's people one last time. In Revelation 12, we see that Michael is destined to play a key role in the final battle between good and evil. But what will this battle look like? Could it be that Michael will unleash his full power in the end times, leading the armies of heaven in a final confrontation against Satan and his forces? Imagine the sky itself torn apart as Michael descends, not with a mere sword, but with powers that defy the very laws of nature: blinding light, torrents of fire, and the sound of thunder. His final battle may not be limited to earthly realms, but could span dimensions, as he locks horns with Satan and his demonic horde one last time. This is the moment when Michael, who has never lost a fight, will secure the final victory for God's people. Michael's story is far from over. His battles with Satan, the Nephilim, and the forces of darkness continue to resonate through history, but we've only scratched the surface. What we've seen so far is just the beginning. Michael will play a pivotal role in the final judgment. And who knows what other mysteries await as God's plan unfolds. Before you go, consider this. Michael's strength, his power, and his authority are all directed by God. He has never lost a fight, and his ultimate victory is already assured. Stick around for more thought-provoking videos. Make sure to subscribe, and if this exploration of Michael has sparked your curiosity, share it with someone who needs to know that God's angels are still fighting on our behalf. And let's continue unraveling these mysteries together. Subscribe to the Vault of Christian Mysteries for more intriguing content. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share.